Okay, welcome. This message is being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakakwadash. So this video was inspired or influenced from a video I watched from the elder Rakar, and joining him was the elder Manatazak. And in the video, they made points on being so-called cool is really lukewarm, and they brought out a lot of points, you know, about being on fire for this truth or this faith that we in. And the thing with the, I'm gonna post the link in the description box, but the name of the Elder Apostle Card channel is called Push Harder, and that's pretty much gonna be the basis of this video. Is you gotta push harder, and everything they said in the video was on point and about being more in the spirit. And a lot, and you're probably wondering, why do you see Soggy tacos on the screen, which is going to be the name of this video. Don't be soggy tacos, because when we talk about being lukewarm, we're talking about being in between hot and cold. Now, if you ever order tacos from Uber Eats or whatever you ordered it from, you know, and it got to you lukewarm, you're gonna throw that thing out, and you might not just eat it at all, because the taco come at its best when it's hot, but when it's lukewarm, this is what you get on the screen: a bunch of soggy tacos, which become undesirable. So that's not what we want to be, a bunch of soggy tacos. So what I'm gonna do is play a little bit from the elders clip, and you know, we're gonna build from that.
This video is business on fire, man. Not cool. You know, really being cool is lukewarm. Okay, being so-called cool is lukewarm, man. All right. Basically, you know, you have situations in this truth where you have certain brothers that's in the truth, right? And so-called in the truth. Certain brothers, and the brothers don't really do that. The brother's really a lukewarm dude. Excuse me, to be straightforward. The dude, he don't really come to camp. He come to camp every other few weeks, right? Or every other month. He don't really do his videos. Okay? He barely comes around the brotherhood. And he's not on fire for this truth. Okay, that type of a guy. And you brothers know of guys like that, or some of you guys that's watching this might be guys like that, right? Yeah. You got particular guys that like that, like lukewarm dudes. They pop up. If there's brothers are cooking, like Elder Ariana here said, eating chicken, you chicken eating niggas. Like, bro, we're gonna have a cookout, and that dude, you know, like brothers amongst ourselves. Hey man, we have little cookouts amongst ourselves. Like, you know, at a brother's house, we're gonna go to so-and-so house. We're gonna throw some food on the grill, but we don't record it. We don't record it. That's just brothers socializing amongst each other. We're gonna get some drinks, some beers, and you know, and we're gonna throw some stuff on the grill, and just brothers in the camp, socializing with each other. After we did the work. Yeah.
And it's like, I'm gonna pause it for a second and hear what they said. You know, after you do the work, because the main thing is getting the work done. Because you don't want to be this guy that just always around when it's time to hang out or brothers get together, you know, may throw something on the grill, have a couple of drinks, you know, but brothers just BSing at the time, you know, but that's the only time you come around. But when brothers linking up to do videos and live videos, you're never available. But you're always available for the fun activities, so to speak. You know, that's the guy that's cool. And you really think about it, you know, when you say a person is cool, you really don't know that person. Like, you might see a guy in the world, you be like, yeah, he's cool, because that's the guy, he's in the middle. Like, you don't know where that guy stand. Like, you don't know he's a grimy dude or if that person lived by certain standards. So, like, he's cool. I never had a problem with him. So that guy's cool. So a guy that's technically cool is a lukewarm dude. You don't know where you stand with that guy. That's what you call him, cool. Because he's not hot, he's not cold, he's cool. He's in the middle, warm. And that's not a title you want. Because a lot of the times when we talk about people that was cool, was guys that fell out the truth. And you might say, well, yeah, he was cool, but he didn't believe, he didn't have faith. So that's not the guy you want to be, the cool guy. You know, just like people that's in the world, well, people that are successful in the world, like celebrities, they like to avoid the word legend. Like, if they still active in the business and they're young, they really don't want to be called a legend, because legends are associated with being washed up or not, being not active. Now, if they still in the field, they don't want to be called a legend, because that to them means that they're not successful, or they're not as active as they was when they was younger, and they're not being paying attention to, because they like to believe that they works or their life is still being written in their mind. That's what they like to think. So they try to avoid the word legend. But going back to where cool, we don't want to be that cool person, because you know what? We got to get in the mind state of always being active, because you don't want to have in your mind of just doing the bare minimum. Like, well, I do a show a week. Well, if you could do more, do more. If the spirit permits, don't let that just be your standard. If you could do more to your how about Shimmy Hausa, do as much as possible. Especially if you're not working. If you're not working, you got nothing but time on your hands. So I'm gonna let the video play on and let them finish their point.
Okay? On our so-called days off, so to speak, when we're not at the camp, right? But anyways, you got guys like that, right? You got dudes like that. They'll pop up for that, but they didn't come to the camp. And you know, this goes back 30 years ago, 25 years ago. We had guys like that. There's one particular guy I'm thinking about right now. This is back Apostle Tahar, and I'm going to tell you about it. Up in Connecticut. One particular guy, this dude would never come to class. Yeah, Marco Buff. Fuck it, we said his name. None of y'all would know who this guy is. He was a cool guy. Right? Even Apostle Tahar liked him. Charitable. Apostle Tahar, very charitable guy. He was like a help. But the dude wouldn't come to he might have came to camp maybe like 3 times in all the years. Right. He might have came to 3 camps all together in a few, in
maybe 5 classes.
In maybe 5 classes.
Fired up.
Drunk and shit. But anyway, he was a cool guy. See, cool, right? But this dude would never come around. But when the Passover came, Because niggas know when to pass all that land. They know it's gonna be wine, they know it's gonna be lamb. Plenty of lamb and plenty of wine, right? Or sometimes back in the days, we used to have which brothers, we still do that shit, Purim, or so-called like a Hanukkah. Back then, remember back then, we would have feast days, every feast day, we tried to keep up with Purim, Hanukkah, we would get together and we would feast, have a feast, right? And dudes would show up for that. Hey, shalom. And I'm like, how does nigga even know he was doing this, man? He didn't come to class, right? Or the Passover. Or sometimes years ago, this is back in the 90s, we had the actual building, the actual church, school. And Saturday we would go out to camp. And Sunday, Apostle Tahar would come up, and the Elder Malak and certain brothers, and we at the school, man, Apostle Tahar speak on this. This is back in the 90s. And we had a grill in front of the school. Yeah, we pull the grill out, man, and we go to the store, we get the meat, we get beers, and we have like a little cookout right there in front of the school, But that was for the brothers, diligent brothers that was in the camp. And these niggas would roll up, hey, shalom. Oh shit, y'all cooking all that. Right?
Yeah.
Lukewarm guys. That's why Apostle Tahar did a video a few years ago talking about the Passover is not a lamb dinner. See? So basically, brothers, the guys like that, guys that they're friendly guys, they're friendly, they're nice, you like them, they might give you a couple of dollars, they might give you a ride, right? But they're not really on fire for the truth. But you know that, brother, man? And this video is really to you camp leaders, man. Nah, but that brother's cool. Fuck cool, man. If the dude ain't on fire for the truth, then you gotta oust him, man. That's lukewarm. So we're gonna read the scripture, man. I mean, we're gonna go into, but I just had to make that summation.
There you go. Fuck being cool, because end of the day, this is strictly business, not personal. And we in this thing to serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah. We're not in this thing to be your best friend, to be your therapist. Now, if you serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah, you will get those attributes. But if you're not serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah, it's to hell with you, because it's strictly business. And you're gonna find yourself outside of this circle. So this is strictly business. And the thing is too, we can never do enough to serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah. So what we do is never enough. So you got to be on fire. And guess what? If you're not on fire, you ask the Lord for the fire. You pray, you fast, you be around brothers that are on fire. If you're a dim candle, or if you had a dim candle, what would you do? You would go around the candle, or you would put that candle towards a candle that is fully lit, right? So you got to have the same mind state of this truth. So now let's look at what Romans 14:7 say. And it says, for none of us liveth to himself, and no man dieth to himself. Because when you come into this faith, guess what? You no longer belong to yourself no more. We belong unto Yahweh Shah, the man that died for our sins, that shed his blood. So now we belong on Yahweh Shah. So guess what? We now live for Yahweh Shah. We are servants to Yahweh Shah. That's it. No and if so but. Do we have family? Yes, of course. Do we have wives? Yes, of course. Do we have children? Yes, of course. But that's not our main priority. Our main priority is to serve the Lord. So it says, verse 8, for whether we live unto the Lord, and whether we die unto the Lord. Whether we live therefore or die, we are the Lord's. So we are the Lord's property. For this end Yahushua both died and rose and revived, that we might be the Lord's both of the dead and the living. So our life is to serve the Lord. Now, do we have things in the flesh that, you know, that you may have to cater at times? Yes, because we still in the flesh. There's times you want to listen to music. Sometimes you may need the Virginia, if you know what I mean. But your sole focus is not on that. You know, it's times you want to have a drink here and there. Sometimes you want to, you know, hang out with the Akim. You know, throw something on the grill. You know, listen to a couple of old school jams. You know, that might be things, you know, towards the flesh, but that's not the main priority. The main priority is to do the work. You know, and then after that, there's nothing wrong with letting a load off. So now we're going to go to the book of Colossians, and I want to begin at the verse 25. And it says, whereof I am made a minister. A minister is a servant, right? According to the dispensation of the Most High, which is given to me for you to fulfill the word of the Most High. So the dispensation is the gift that we receive of the Lord. And the main dispensation that we receive of the Lord is to prophesy, to teach, to bring out the content, or to bring out more content of the word of the Most High. Because that's the greatest gift you can have, is the mysteries of the Lord, which we're going to read. And it says, even the mysteries which we have, even the mystery which have been hid from ages and from generations, but now is made manifest to his saints. So the greatest gift you can have is to reveal the mysteries of the Lord. So why not bring out or do more content teaching the mysteries? Because a lot of people have not received this gift. So therefore you have to go out and teach it, you know? This is a gift, understanding this. And it's a gift to the Most High to put the Spirit on you and teach it. So verse 27, to whom the Most High will make known what is the riches of the glory of this mystery among the Gentiles, which is Yahushua in you, the hope of glory. Now, of course, by now you should already know the Gentiles is referencing toward Israelites that has settlements in the land of the heathen. And the outcome of having settlements in the land of the heathen is you adopted their language, their culture, their attire, but it had to be brought back. You know, like you had Israelites in Greece, and they spoke the Greek language. They adopted the Greek ideas and philosophy. They wore the Greek apparel, but when they learned about Yahushua, they shed away those things. So, verse 28, whom we preach, warning every man and teaching every man in all wisdom, that we may present every man, that we may present every man perfect in Yahushua. So not only we just teaching, we're warning, because everyone is going to be held accountable for hearing the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Some men is going to be a blessing, and some men is going to be a curse. You know, so when we go out, we warning the people, and we teaching the elect. And the one that do receive this word, we're teaching them so that what? That we may present every man perfect in Yahushua. So we teaching them so they can get right. So when Yahushua do return, they won't be found with dross or impurities. So they be perfect in the eyes of the Lord, so that they could be delivered. But we are here to teach so that when Yahweh shall do return, you know, that they be found clean. So verse 29, whereunto I also labor, striving according to his working, which worketh in me mightily. So let's do this, right? Let's go to Matthew 21 and 18, and it says, now in the morning as he returned into the city, he hungered. So the he is reference to Yahweh Shah. So Yahweh Shah woke up in the morning and he was in hunger. And it says this, and when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it and found nothing thereon but leaves only, and said unto it, let no fruit grow on thee henceforth forever. And presently the fig tree withered away. So that fig tree represented a man that had the word of the Most High, but he didn't do nothing with the word. You know, he didn't bear no fruit or nothing. So he was a tree without fruit. So when man was hungry to eat, there was nothing to eat from the tree. So Yahweh condemned that tree, because there was nothing to draw from that tree. Because when you come in to serve the Lord, you come in as a tree, and the Lord is looking for you to bear fruit. Now it says, verse 20, and when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, how soon is the fig tree withered away? And 21, Yahweh Shah answered and said unto them, really I say unto you, if ye have faith and doubt not, ye shall not only do this which is done to the fig tree, but also if ye shall say unto this mountain, be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and it should be done. So you got to have faith for that. That's something you have to have faith. And going out and teach it is something you have faith. Because the guys that don't really do much, that's usually the ones that have weak faith. That's why they're not active. So this is Matthew 12 and 46 on down. And it says, while he yet talked to the people, the he again is Yahweh Shah. And it says, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother? Who are my brethren? And stretched forth his hand toward his disciple, and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. So this is all about doing the will of the Most High. And the will of the Most High, but what is comprised of the will of the Most High is teaching, you know, or the ones that doing what the scriptures say. Now, of course, a woman not supposed to be teaching. You know, she's supposed to conform to the ways of the scriptures. And then you could say, well, that's a sister. Now, she's still acting like the woman in the world. You can't look at that woman as a sister in the faith. The same way as a dude acting like a nigga in the world, you can't look at him as a brother in the faith. You know, because a person patterns of righteousness is how they being judged according to the scriptures. So now, let me do this. This 1 Corinthians 9, beginning at verse 19. For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all, that I may gain them all. Now who's talking? This is the Apostle Paul. So Apostle Paul said this: he had made himself a servant unto all, that he may gain them all, meaning gain what? Gain them in the faith of Yahushua. So Paul looked at his ministry as a servant too. Like, this is a job you have to do, but it's a job of love. Verse 20, and he says, unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I may gain the Jews. Now, why do you say that? Because now you had certain guys, you had to adopt the way you teach so you could gain them to Yahushua. Because some guys, all they was about was the law. So you had to go into the law and show them in the law where Yahushua was prophesied. Now, you had certain guys that was weak, so you had to use other analogies and bring yourself down to their level to bring them to Yahushua. Some guys, excuse me, some guys was into sports, so you may have to use sports analogies to bring them unto Yahushua. So that's what Paul said that, you know. So unto the Jews I became as a Jew, that I may gain the Jews, and to them that under the law as under the law, that I may gain them that under the law. So them that are without the law as without the law. Now, why do you say without the law? Because you had certain guys that they were so far gone, but they were still of the chosen. They still had to hear the gospel. So you may have to use quotes from Plato and fit it towards the scriptures so you could bring them onto Yahushua. That's why I mentioned earlier about using analogy. So at times you may have to transfigure yourself on how you teach, so or to adopt or how you teach so you could win a soul to Yahushua. So that's what Paul did. So it says to them without the law as without the law, being without the law to the Most High, but under the law to Yahushua. Because when they heard it, they end up believing. They start believing onto Yahushua. But there's a growing process, because even with us, when we came to the truth, technically we came to the truth in the mind of a Gentile or a heathen, but we were still Israelite. Some guys was Bloods, Crips, Folk, Latin King. Some guys was in college believing in the American dream. Some guys was in adultery. Some guys had a lot of tattoos. You know, whatever life or whatever part of the world you came from, you didn't know you was an Israelite. You didn't know anything. But we had to learn about Yahushua, and then our faith grew. So that's what it means with not under the law, because when we first came into this thing, we didn't know anything about the law. You may have heard like who the world called Jesus Christ as a so-called Negro, and that may grasp a person like, what? The law's a Negro, God is black, the angels are black, and that what it may be that grasps a God into the faith. So it says that I may gain them that are without the law. So it says to the weak I became as weak, that I may gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I may by all means save some. And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I may be partakers thereof with you. So Paul was saying pretty much he was dedicated on teaching. He had a passion on teaching, and he was so passionate that he adopted new techniques to teach certain men. And he said he do all this for what? For the gospel's sake, that I might be partakers thereof with you. And said, know ye not that they which run in the race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain. Now, Paul was using a marathon analogy, and he said, so run that ye may attain what? The trophy, whatever the prize is for the marathon. He referencing as the true being a marathon, but you have to finish unto the end, or endure to the end, so you can obtain the reward. And he says, verse 25, and every man that strive for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to attain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Now temperate means to be balanced, you know, not indulging too much of anything, because even the good things, if you overindulge, it could become toxic. Like your body need water, but what happens if you drink too much water? It become a toxic. You go flush out the natural minerals and vitamins that you do have. It become a toxic. Your body needs salt. What happens if you have too much salt? Your body needs sugar. What happens if you body have too much sugar? You put too much stress on your pancreas. So you got to learn the balance of everything. You know, like you don't want to be leaning on the side of serving the flesh. You know, but this time you may have to serve the flesh just a little bit, because you'll be miserable. You'll be too stressed. There's times you may need to have a drink and listen to music or whatever, get a good laugh. But that's not something you want to overdo. Just like it's times you need to be serious. But then guess what? You don't want to be serious all the time too, because guess what happens? You're serious all the time and you don't know the balance. You don't know when to laugh or to chill out. And guess what happened? It put demons on you. There's grunty person and this never happy. But there's a balance with everything. Yeah, at times we catch hell, but then it's times, you know, the Most High bless us and relieve the stress off. You know, you can't be happy too much. You can't be angry too much. There's a balance. That's how the Most High set things up, to be balanced. Verse 26. Therefore, so run, not as uncertainly, meaning a person that's uncertain is a person that's not sure. You got to really know what you're involved with. Because then again, like I was saying, you got them guys that always angry all the time and they just overly serious. From my experience, them guys don't last too long. The same way the guys that take everything as a joke. Everything's a joke. They never serious. Those guys don't last too long either. So everything go back to being balanced. So it says, so fight I, not as one that beat it after is, because in the fight, in a professional fight, all your fights are calculated. You just not, I mean, all your punches are calculated. You're not just punching, throwing punches that don't count to nothing. So your main priority is this word. So verse 27, it says, but I keep under my body and bring it unto subjection, lest that by any means what I had preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. So Paul was pretty much saying is the last thing you want to be is a person that taught a lot of guys and then himself be an example of a castaway, a guy that got disenchanted and didn't follow after his own examples. So with that, I'm gonna close, and Lord willing, this video is edifying. Until next time, all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakah Kodash, and Shalom.